I'm Bobby Curran, and joined now by defensive line coach Ricky Longo. And Coach, thanks for stopping by with us.
Oh, it's great to be here, Bob. I'm glad to be here.
I wanted to get with you. Obviously, Corey Batuna's come in. I know that you guys are planning to play as aggressive a style as your personnel will allow. So I guess the first question on the personnel. I mean, I'm looking. I kind of checked off on my sheet how many people are listed as defense. You have 15 guys listed. Some of them are very young. I don't know how many guys would you anticipate that you need in a rotation, a rotational basis, ready to play in the fall?
You would like to have anywhere from having 8 to 10 guys. Now the good thing about our package is we'll be able to substitute in certain positions and get linebackers playing certain positions up front, and then getting our bigger guys in there in short yardage. So we have packages for our guys up front, which allows us to do more defensively.
It sounds like you guys aren't married to the four-man and even front or the odd, or that depending on where you're at, things can be mixed up. I suppose that's sort of the evolution of football right now. I mean, seeing people multiple.
Oh, yes. The type of offenses that you face in our conference, you have to be very physical, have a strong front seven, and then you got a spread team going against our offense. You want to get another personnel guys in there, just trying to find those best 11 that suits the package that we're putting in.
Well, let me get to where you guys are at in terms of leadership on this team. And I imagine, because there are a couple of guys that are very familiar names among the 15 that people here have been seeing for a couple of years. I don't know if they're the leaders right now, but who are the guys you would single out right now that, okay, these are sort of the core guys of our group that need to be able to both play and mentor some of the younger guys?
Well, a person that's played a lot last year is Zeno Choi, a person that's got some playing experience that a lot of guys have looked up to. He's taken in that role, maybe not verbally, but by the way he leads, by practicing, how he attends meeting. Teva Eldridge is another young man that has played, that's doing a really good job of taking on that role. We have a lot of young guys that didn't play but lead by example. But those two right now have influenced some of the younger guys throughout off-season training.
Are you more concerned right now in terms of your depth with the interior or guys more on the edge?
Really both. The packages, we need more inside guys in certain packages. And then when you're going against a spread team, we're looking at some speed, but having some of the linebackers that can rush allows us to be able to get some of those guys to be able to help us up front.
I wanted to ask you about a couple of players. First of all, I want to start with a guy who's a freshman. He's got to be on the all-name team. Blessman Ta'ala. Tell me about Blessman.
Well, a person of few words, but one of the stronger guys on our football team. He's now learning how to transition that strength in the weight room onto that.
Because he was what we used to call country strong. Is that what it was?
Very rock country strong young man, and you can see it. A big man that moves his feet, a 300-plus pounder that moves his feet like he's 280 pounds. That's been impressive.
Okay, there's some of the guys that we kind of know of that have played here in the past. Samuel Akoteo. How's his development?
Really good. He's another young man that played a lot last year. Sam is coming off a surgery during the off season. He just got cleared right before spring practice, so he's just getting back into the groove of things, and it's allowed me to see what he can do. A very twitchy young man, just doing some good things for us up front. There's a lot of packages where we feel like he can be able to help us in the scheme of things.
Okay, there's another guy, and this is funny because I have a son who's a football player, but he knows of Kaimana Padello because he does spearfishing videos, and my son's a spear fisherman, so he's like, well, but when I would see him at Mila Lions, someone said, yeah, he's going to play defensive end for Hawaii. I'm like, hang on a second, the guy's 215. Do you have any idea what this size? But when he got on the field last year, he's he's disruptive. He's a guy that's getting around. Is he any bigger now?
I think he's a lot stronger.
Uh-huh.
I think he's touched up on his technique, especially rushing the passer. And when you get a fast edge person like that, even though he may be short and small, he plays big. And he showed that to me throughout spring practice going against our bigger offensive line. And it's been a big surprise for me, but he's certainly going to be used in packages where we can get after the quarterback a little bit in the passing situation.
There are some other names of guys that I haven't even just heard of them until now. Fanupo, looks like Pealalo. Mm-hmm. Is he going to be able to get on the field for you guys?
Fanupo is a transfer in. He's learning the system. Right now he's at a point where he's a little bit hesitant. He hasn't really let it loose yet. A young man that doesn't want to make mistakes. Mm-hmm. And I'm really trying to tell him just to hang his hair down a little bit and just go play. We're going to make mistakes, but I'd rather him do it fast.
Okay, in terms of you mentioned you'd like to get maybe 10 that could play in the games, but it won't always be. I mean, you won't always need big guys, especially if you're going to have somebody. I see that at times it looks like Jelani Tavai might be coming up, and he might be want to look like a defensive end at times. I mean, you guys are doing looks like a good bit of that stuff.
Well, Coach Batoon wants to try to get our best 11 on the field. And Jelani has done an excellent job last year at the linebacker position, but utilizing his size and his speed, whether it's at linebacker, whether it's at outside linebacker rushing off the edge and dropping out, utilizing that person in packages. We wouldn't be smart coaches if we didn't use Jelani to be able to help us.
So you kind of move him around. He's a different position, of course, but this is the model. When everybody says, "Oh, do you understand what we mean about moving a guy?" People would say, "Well, Troy Polamalu on the Steelers. I mean, you didn't know where he was going to line up." And I guess you'll be doing somewhat of that same thing with Jelani.
Oh yes. The good thing about the scheme of this package, whether he plays in a 4-man front or an outside linebacker in a 3-4, when scouts come in, they'll be able to see him do both.
I would imagine one of the challenges and part of the fun when you're coaching, you come in, you're working with new guys. I don't know if you'd even ever met Corey Batoon or Mark Banker before you got here, but I'm guessing you all put it together. You get in the defensive room, you're talking about what you can. Is that the fun part?
Well, not only that, you're talking about great men in this profession, very knowledgeable. As a coach, and I say I'm young, but the experience that we have in our defensive room really drew me here. And I'm going to absorb as much knowledge as I can from both of those young men to our young players and coaches. And it's been fun. It's been fun in our room. We're having a great time as coaches. We're all in transition here, and now that we got our families here meeting the kids, it's been great.
For lack of a better way to put this, and I was at practice on Saturday, and I'm sort of seeing that there's maybe more than some previous staffs I've seen, more of a teaching. It seems like it's more teaching and less screaming and cussing and ranting. I mean, has that been by design that you guys are, or that you just feel with what you're putting in, you got to be patient?
Yes. Anytime you come in and install a new package, in my philosophy in coaching, the better coaches are better teachers out here. So we want good quality reps. We can get a lot of reps here, but getting quality reps are important. So sometimes you got to slow things down and be able to teach some of these guys so that we can come out of spring practice confident in the package and these kids feel good coming into the summer program going into our season.
Last thing for you, just in what you guys are talking about among yourselves even, how aggressive do you want to be in terms of getting after quarterbacks, getting into backfields? How much in terms of aggression, what would be the aggression quotient with your group?
Well, this defense is designed to be very aggressive, whether it's an individual player or whether it's a call. Certainly don't want a quarterback sitting back there
comfortable
and nobody's in his face.
Yeah.
it goes hand in hand. Our DBs, they tighten up their coverages, and it helps the front get to the quarterback. And when we can get a quarterback to move his feet, it allows them to get some interceptions. So being aggressive and having a good rotation and keeping our guys fresh, the biggest thing that Corey wants to do is be physical and be fast and be tough. And that's what we're trying to preach to our guys each day that we come out here and practice. And that's going to be our motto going into the fall.
Coach, I'm going to let you get back to your guys. Thanks so much for coming by to chat with us. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Bob, I appreciate you.
Ricky Longo, defensive line coach for the University of Hawaii.